What up, YouTube, Gen X? Okay, as you guys all know, I do believe in the whole family unit. I believe in the family system because I believe it works. I'm not holding on to it because I'm stuck on some old way of thinking. It works. Obviously, there's pros and there's cons, but it works. If you're family-oriented, it works. Unfortunately, a lot of the people that attack the family unit, that sort of traditional relationship between man, woman, and children are people that did not grow up in that system, or they grew up in a dysfunctional one. So yeah, dad may have been around, mom may have been around, and everybody was together, but it wasn't running how it needed to be run. Or, it wasn't running how it needed to be ran, or whatever. But for me, coming from a somewhat functional home, and being around it, I see that it works, so I hold on to it. Like I said before, it's not me being blind. Obviously, there's pros and there's cons. Even the people that have grown up in a traditional sort of background can tell you cons that you didn't even know about. Because once again, you have to have lived it. You'd have to have went through it yourself to understand the pluses and the minuses. It's hard to have that sort of understanding from the outside point of view. It is what it is. But with that being said, I understand that there needs to be an alternative. I don't believe that there needs to be one big-ass paradigm shift, because once again, people have different, people are wired differently, so there's going to be people that are more so suited for the family system, and there's going to be people that are not. So I do think we need some diversity. That's what I'm big on. I don't like, once again, the sort of either or. I like options. So I think people should have different outlooks and different ways of getting along and relating to each other. But the part that annoys me is oftentimes when people talk about creating something new, they'll throw away basic needs. As a man, I don't care how progressive you are in your thinking, you're always going to want a woman to be there in some sort of nurturing capacity. Okay, you're going to want that woman that you can come home to and do what you need to do and have that sort of relationship. Now, do you have to be married to that person? Of course not, but you're going to want that sort of companionship from a woman. You don't want to hang out with your guy friends all day. And the only time you want to be around women is not for sex. You're going to have times where you want to be around a woman and have her companionship. But this idea that you can throw away female companionship, I'm laughing at that. Same thing for the women. You don't want to hang out with your homegirls 24/7, and you want to have a deeper relationship with a man other than, hey, he's just going to come through and, give me good sex every now and then. You want more. You're going to want some sort of companionship. Now, do you need marriage for that? Of course not, but you need companionship. So to come through and provide a solution or to provide a new way of thinking and not to account for that, I think it's flawed. I think it's flawed because you're throwing away a fundamental need. It is what it is. And then when you factor in the children, most people don't even factor in children. And I think most people at least want to have one child. Or whether it's adopting, I think people want to have at least one person to pass on whatever wealth or money or knowledge that they have gained. Right? I think it's safe to say that people want at least one. Right? You may not want some big-ass family. That's perfectly fine. But you want at least one person to pass on what you understand. To carry out your name so that you just don't die and become nothing. Nothingness. No one to remember you. No picture on a wall. No one visiting your burial site once a year. You want to have that. You want to be able to go to your son or daughter's graduation from college or whatnot. You want to be a grandfather or whatnot. You want to take your son and go fishing. Right? Or take your daughter and go on a daddy-daughter date. You want that. So where's your viewpoints on having children? See, you just can't throw that out. Like I said before, I understand that we definitely need something new. We need a new sort of a way of thinking when it comes to family and relationships and whatnot, because people have grown. You know, people across the board have become more diverse in terms of their thinking and how they operate. Life has changed. So to only have that sort of family sort of structure where you have a husband and wife, mother and father, yeah, that's a little bit absurd considering where we have come as a society and where we are going. For me, I'm cool with the old school. I'm cool. I'm okay. It works for me. But once again, I completely understand how certain people need something different. But I sit back and I listen. You know, you're not going to see Pink Elephant do too much talking in terms of what's going on currently on YouTube and Gen X, because once again, I don't think that falls in my realm. I'm your traditional sort of guy. I understand I have my own battles and there's some pros and cons, but I like where I'm at right now. And like I said, for me, it's not so much personal, but it's more so trying to get other people to understand. You know, trying to get the other family-oriented people to stick around as opposed to leaving. I'm good. But once again, I understand that that is not going to work for everybody. But sitting back and listening, you know, I scratch my head because it's like, you got women not accounting for the fact that they need to have a man around in terms of some sort of companionship. Once again, it doesn't have to be marriage. And you have the women that are failing, or the men that are failing to do the same thing. So I'm like, you know, whatever solution you're trying to provide or whatever alternative is flawed. You know, what's going to happen? You know, you're going to have a whole bunch of men sitting around, you know, having fun for, what, a year or two? Right? Then it's like, damn, you know, I can only hang out with Luke and Aaron for so long. You know, I would like to spend some time with a nice woman. We may not have to get married, but I would like to spend some time. I would like to be in her company and vice versa. But I haven't seen that accounted for. Anyways, so that's my vid. You know, I just wanted to put that out there. You know, I'm still around, but I just don't really feel like this, where the conversation is going, is for me, and I don't feel like I have much to contribute anyways. I'll listen and whatnot, but, you know, I'll move on, you know, and just do my own thing. But I will say this. How many men currently who are on that sort of fuck marriage, fuck family, are simply doing so because they don't like the divorce laws or the marriage laws? Because once again, I have a problem with them as well. But how many men on some like we need something new would be running back to your traditional marriage and family if we did fix child support and if we did fix divorce laws? See, for me, the problem right now is not enough men are speaking up on it. But if you got more men to speak up on the unfair divorce laws and how they really haven't been evaluated, and how child support laws haven't necessarily been evaluated or retooled so that it's not being misused, I think you'd have a whole bunch of men coming back to the sort of traditional family unit sort of viewpoint, in my opinion. Because I listen to why a lot of men are unhappy and why a lot of men want something new, and they run to child support and divorce, which is legit. But if you have a lot of men going to that, why not come together and have a voice? You know, for me, it's like the conversation that men have behind closed doors, but why not bring it to the forefront and get something changed? I don't know if it's not seen as something masculine, you know, men holding picket signs or whatnot saying that we want to relook at divorce or we want to relook at child support. I don't know what the holdup is, but there's a lot of men that feel a certain way. Why not come together and have a movement? If your sole reason for not wanting to be in the family unit is because of divorce laws and because of child support laws. You know, if it's more than that for certain men, you know, if it's more than divorce and if it's more than child support, hey, you're more than welcome to do what you need to do. But for the men that are simply on some like fuck it because they don't like divorce or child support laws, you know, how come, you know, we're not trying to put together something where there's more so a voice where people have to start to think about it? Because right now a lot of women are oblivious to how men secretly feel. And society as a whole hasn't really dealt with it. It's not like men have really put it out there in terms of like for America to have to deal with on some like, yeah, you know, we're not happy with divorce laws, we're not happy with child support, you know, it's not that we don't want to pay child support, but we don't like the way the system is set up, yada, yada, yada. That hasn't been put out there. I haven't really seen one large-scale movement that really puts out that viewpoint and that feeling. It is what it is. But anyways, that's my vid. Y'all take it easy. God bless.